soldier who was here on guard took out the terrorist. There were 5 bullets that were shot into the terrorist. He's been terminated. Thank God the elderly gentleman who was hit by the terrorist is only lightly injured with an injury to the head. And thank God again, thank the Israelis, the soldiers who reacted so swiftly, were able to take out the terrorist before he was able to do any more damage. Okay. So we're just looking at the soldiers around here, and I've gotten confirmation that the terrorist has been terminated. You could see here that is the car. It's a Mazda 5. You understand? You think your people are talking about, you know, refugees or people poor. Mazda 5, and it looks pretty in good shape. And again, this is an Arab, probably a Muslim, because Christian Arabs usually don't do these things. And uses his Mazda 5 to ram into innocent bystanders, Jewish bystanders here. Thank God the person who was hit was only lightly injured, thank God, and the terrorist has been terminated. One of the soldiers who were alert here, thank God, took the terrorist out before he was able to do any more damage. I said it once, I'll say it many times, no terrorist should ever survive his own attack. It is cruel to allow these terrorists to walk out of their own attack. Again, he wasn't handcuffed, and I don't want to hear any of this moral, garbage they talk about. So, thank God for 2 reasons. Number one, the victim himself seems to be in light condition with a head injury. And thank the Israeli soldiers here who took the terrorist out with, from what I understand, 5 quick shots. And again, according to IDF policy, once there's a threat, you're supposed to shoot to the Merkaz Masa, you're supposed to shoot to the center of the body to make sure that the threat is completely taken out. I'm not going to interview any of the soldiers or the security forces here, although I'm sure they do want to talk. They're not allowed to, and so therefore I'm going to respect that security policy here. What I understand is the victim himself is around 60 years old. From what I understand, again, this is what I get from people around here, and he was already brought to the hospital and is in light condition from what I understand. For those of you who are watching this, you know that a month ago or so, I was in the exact same place when another terrorist tried ramming into this bus stop and killing other people. And once again, then, of course, by the grace of God and as well as by the alertness of the IDF soldiers who are here, nobody was injured in that one as well. And this time, thank God again, the person who was injured was only lightly injured, and the terrorist was taken out. The area is being secured on all areas. They are checking the car for any other threats inside the car. Of course, before they allowed anyone to go close to here, they actually had the car opened and stripped, make sure that no bombs were inside and no explosives were inside. But there's the Mazda 5. And again, if you're thinking about poor refugees or whatnot, it's a Mazda 5. It looks like a pretty brand new car. And the only excuse that this person has to try to murder Jews has nothing to do with land or occupation or anything else. It's just simple hatred. And thank God, like I say again, the victim was only lightly injured, and the terrorist was taken out by the IDF soldiers, the swift action of the IDF soldiers. And thank God, another attempted terrorist attack by these Muslim terrorists has failed, thank God, to take any lives or serious injury. What you're seeing right now, which I'm not going to get too close, what you're seeing right now is the security forces stripping the car, making sure that there's no threat inside the car or around the car. You have the markers there for evidence, of course. And we have several forces who are here. We have obviously the IDF soldiers who are here, and then we have the police, the special police force, the anti-terror force, and of course the forensics who are on the floor there taking evidence, because they want to learn from all the situations here to make sure that the next attempt will also fail just like this one. But again, I want you to look at the car. We're talking about a pretty nice looking Mazda 5. No poor person here, no refugee, whatever you want to call it. This was a Muslim terrorist in a pretty nice car, and there's no mistakes here. You can't run into this place by accident. So the guys that you see around here right now, I'm not going to take pictures of any of the guys here, obviously, but what you're looking at right there are the demolition guys. Well, not the demolition guys, the anti-terror guys, the bomb squad guys, who are stripping the car and make sure that there are no other threats inside the car, around the car. Obviously, the car was already checked, that there's no obvious explosive, otherwise I would not be able to get this close. But the bomb squads are literally stripping the car right now, top to bottom, making sure there's nothing suspicious. Of course, if there was really any chance of, this is what we call being cautious in Israel, if there was really any chance of the car being dangerous or not, obviously I would not be getting this close, and the police would not allow us to be this close. Again, if you're asking questions, I'm sorry I can't read them, but I do implore you to invite people and share this so people can see what's going on in Israel. And again, this whole narrative of the poor Palestinians and the refugees and the poor people, oh, they're fighting for their freedom. Here it is right here, a brand new Mazda 5, a family car used by a Muslim terrorist to try to murder Jews. There is no issues here of a poor Palestinian or a poor refugee. This is a Muslim terrorist, and that's where it begins and ends. That's where the whole story here, the whole narrative begins and ends. I'm going to try to get a better picture of the car, and I want you to see it from this area. There it is. Mazda 3. In fact, doesn't look like there's a scratch on it except from the front where the guy tried to murder someone. So again, next time you hear that narrative of the poor people and the poor people and the poor people, this guy's driving a Mazda 5 and uses his car to try to murder Jews. We have three different people here. We have the Army, the IDF, and again, I'll say it again 1,000 times, and this is, by the way, what Standing Together is all about. The organization that I run, Standing Together, is exactly this. We know what the men and women of the IDF are up against on a daily routine, and we will do what we can to say thank you, to show appreciation to them, exactly for this kind of reaction they had, exactly for this life-saving, quick reaction the IDF has. We at Standing Together, we have one goal and one goal only, is to show appreciation and thanks to IDF soldiers. And we have, of course, many campaigns going on, and we implore everyone to get involved. Everybody should get involved. Check out the website. It's www.storyful.org. That's S like standing. And of course, you could yourself say thank you to the IDF soldiers here who do whatever they can and put their own lives on the line to make sure that, the terrorists do not succeed. So we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you again to the unbelievable men and women of the IDF.